Hello, welcome back to the video. We're doing another taste testing. Though we normally do snacks, we are doing an assortment of Mexican candies and a few other snacks that we found that we'll be doing at the end. I'm Daniel, and I have a special guest with me today.
Hola, mi nombre es Noé.
Alright, we have broken open the package and now we have everything laid out here. We'll be trying a few of these, certainly these ones, and then the rest of these we'll be leaving for later.
Sounds good, man. Well, the first thing I want to point out here, and this is very, very common of Mexican candy, I think in Latin America, but Mexican for sure, is that, dude, like 60% of the candy here is spicy. Wow. Right? Like there is a lot of candy. Like you have, I mean, you can even see the stick here is covered in chili powder. So that is very common, man. This is something that is amazing as a kid growing up, because when you're eating something like this, the first 5 to 10 minutes of it, it's spicy, right? But then when you get down to the middle of it, it's a watermelon. So it tastes really, really sweet, really, really good. A little bit of background on the spicy nature of the Mexican food and the Mexican cuisine in general, including the candy. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the indigenous people in Mexico, at one time, they were called mestizos. So basically, the culture that was mixed, right, between the Spaniards and what was the Aztec or the Mayan culture, they kind of mixed and they created what they called the mestizo culture. And they were generally your poorer population. So they had the cheaper cuts of meat. They had the kind of the leftovers, if you will. So they resorted to seasoning their food with chili. And there's a lot of great Mexican cuisine. One of my favorite, for example, was enchiladas. Ooh, right? Yeah. So it was not that, everybody thinks enchiladas like, oh yeah, it's amazing cuisine, right? It's just basically just a tortilla covered in chili powder because you really had nothing else to eat, right? Or another one that might not be as common is menudo.
I have not heard of that one.
So menudo is amazing. It's a stew, but it comes with, depends on where you're at in Mexico, but it'll have things like beef tripe, stomach lining, pig ears, pig feet, right? And you add a little bit of hominy, and then you add a lot of hot sauce. And it's actually one of my favorite dishes. Growing up, it's something that I really enjoyed. All right, so before we dive into the candy, man, I'll give a little bit of background. So how does this guy know so much about this candy? Well, I am of Mexican descent. My parents were immigrants to this country. So I'm Mexican-American or American-Mexican, whatever you like to call me. But I grew up in a great era of the Mexican culture because when I was young, 80% of my family was still in Mexico. So what that meant for me was that basically every summer, starting of about when I was about 5 or 6 years old, every summer I would get shipped to Mexico. Realistically, my grandmother would pick us, a lot of me and my cousins up, and just literally we would caravan to Mexico and spend the summer in Mexico. Not only that, but I was also blessed enough when I went to Mexico. I had an aunt and uncle who were both teachers in the school system in Mexico, and school would end a lot later than it does here in the States, so I even had the opportunity to attend school sometimes in Mexico. So I did that all the way up through my teen years, and of course my wife's from Mexico, born and raised there. So, and my kids, I mean, this is all things that my kids grew up eating as well. So this right here is an interesting one, right? And I was talking to Daniel, and I mentioned that this is kind of like a candy and a toy in one, right? And you looked at me, you're like, what? So this thing here, it's called a Pelón Pelo Rico. For those of you that are Mexican, you know exactly what I mean, and then this is really going to bring back memories for you. But so Pelón Pelo Rico basically translates to bald, tasty hair.
What?
So yeah, and if I did that wrong, I'm so sorry. But basically, what you do is you take this and you push it down, and you can see it causes the candy to come out of the top and looks like hair. Then you would just eat it.
Huh.
So, want to try it?
I would love to.
It is one of my favorites growing up, and my kids loved it. Like I said, it's one of those things that really kept you occupied. If you were a parent, you're like, here, take a couple of these. They come in all kinds of different sizes. They come small sizes. That's kind of the normal size. There's also like really big ones that you can buy. But what do you think?
It's hard to place. It's definitely sweet, but it's got a whole lot of saltiness too.
Yeah.
It's very different, but I will say it's kind of addicting.
It is. It is. So, fun fact, when you get a little older, you don't go through the whole squeezing of it. You can literally just take it apart and scoop it out of the middle. The base here that a lot of people don't know, and that's kind of the taste that you're kind of trying to figure out what it is tamarind.
What is that?
So tamarind is a fruit. I'm not sure if it's native to Mexico, but it does come in a lot of our candy. So we can go right on to the next one. So something like this, you can actually see it says extra hot and salted tamarind pulp candy.
Huh.
So this,
okay.
So this, as I got older, so I got two different here. I've got these two. This red means it's hotter than this. This is kind of your normal kind, and you know, ironically, it's actually real fruit. It's literally just tamarind candy with chili sauce or chili powder. So I'll let you open that. If I go to the Mexican grocery store and I want to get myself a piece of candy, this is my go-to right now.
It just looks like
something like this.
Yeah, piece of jerky.
Yeah, so if you've ever seen, so tamarind, it grows on a tree. It's got multiple seeds, and it's sweet. And then they add salt and they add chili powder, and it just gives it a really good texture. You know, think of like guava, maybe. I don't know if you've ever tried guava, but like they take the guava, it almost dehydrate it. You know, so that would be a tamarind, and it's very sticky. We also love it.
Very similar to taste.
Yeah, so it's going to be the same base. Actually, one of my favorite drinks is tamarindo drink, which is tamarind, basically in a drink. So it's almost like a shake or a smoothie kind. I don't know. I'm not a cuisine guy. I'm a car guy, but it is a very, very tasty drink. People would think like because it is spicy, that it maybe not good, but it actually it has this great balance to it, right?
Even for the hotter variety, you don't get a lot of spice. You just get a little bit in the back of your throat. It's nice.
Yeah, and it got that sweet kick to it, right? Awesome. So we're going to move on from the tamarind, but I do want to show you a couple more options, right? Because again, tamarind is a very big deal when it comes to candy in Mexico. So these guys here, it's a hard candy, but it's got a tamarind pulp, and then you guessed it, right? The spicy version. My mother has a really cool story that she told me when I was little about her using gum similar to this right here, same color and everything, as lipstick.
Huh.
When she was really little. Obviously, they didn't let her have lipstick. She got herself in a lot of trouble for doing that, but she just used the tint off the lipstick to color her lips red, and got herself in some trouble. So we're going to continue the spiciness, okay? So this guy here is just simply called a pico, okay? And it's like a granular form. This is one of my favorites when I was little as well, kind of going away from the tamarind piece. So this is like chili powder mixed with sugar. What do you think so far?
It's very mild.
It's awesome. Now, these usually come in these little sleeves, almost like a pixie stick. That's
what I was thinking of when I saw it.
Actually, this is like a Mexican pixie stick. Literally a pouch of sugar with, of course, some chili powder. And if you take enough of it, you'll start to feel that chili powdery taste in the back of your mouth, kind of like with the other candy. Like two mouthfuls.
It is very much like a pixie stick.
Like a Mexican pixie stick.
Moving on from the spicy, what do you have that's it's a little outside of that alley?
All right. Well, this one here, you know, going back to kind of the topic on my mom, right? This is what we call a mazapan. The brand here is, if you know much about Mexican culture, this brand is going to be one that resonates with you. But this is my mom's favorite, so that's why I said going back to my mom. So it's literally crushed peanut.
Oh.
It's a crushed peanut, and it is just compacted into this little hockey puck looking thing. And I'm sure there's some added spices in here, maybe a little bit of cinnamon, definitely some sugar, but it's literally just crushed peanut.
It's very flaky.
Yeah, almost like a dried peanut butter. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, that's nice.
I love it. You see what I'm seeing? Like a little bit of cinnamon or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I just know it's really good. This is also very cool because growing up, candy was not an option a lot of times. When you grow up in a household that doesn't have a lot of money, doesn't have a lot of resources, when you're eating candy, it's almost like a celebration, right? It's almost like a great. You're either hanging out with a lot of family and friends, or it's a reward for something, right? So this is definitely bringing me a lot of memories. So thank you, appreciate it. And this is great.
No, it's very nice.
All right, well we're gonna move on to something a little bit more traditional here. So this looks really fancy, right? You've got the red, green, and the white here, like the Mexican flag, right? Literally just pressed coconut.
Really?
Nothing much more than that. Yeah. Again, there might be some consistency of how they keep it all together, but if you tear it apart, it's literally just strands of coconut pressed together.
Huh. Oh, yeah. A lot gummier than I expected.
Yeah. I think it's like when you start chewing it, you start to feel the coconut kind of start separating. Almost like that, a little bit of water. Maybe a little bit of sugar to keep it together, but besides that, pretty much literally just coconut.
Basically an Almond Joy without the chocolate.
Yes. You do see them everywhere. Any Mexican store you go to, I guarantee you, by the counter, you'll see, and they will all be the red, white, and the green motif. So I don't know why, if they're this small or this big, they're all going to be red, white, and green motif. Obviously for the Mexican flag, right? We're going to move on. This one here is another favorite. There's, you know what? One thing that I just realized, there's not a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, I see that.
There's not a lot of chocolate on this table, but then even if I go back, so like I think of being in Mexico and being a kid in Mexico, or even like a Mexican candy store, a Mexican grocery store, there's not a lot of chocolate. Like pure milk chocolate. There's one brand, I can't remember the name, that we had that back when I was growing up, but it was really tiny, probably about the size of this guy here. That was like milk chocolate, but that was like it. Like there's no Hershey's, there's no no Snickers branded, nothing like that. That's all very much American, but that's probably the closest you're going to get here. This is really just a wafer cookie that's just dipped in chocolate. I think even Little Debbie might have something like this, no?
Yeah, it looks like one of those peanut bars. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
It is good. It's
I haven't had one in a while.
kind of your typical chocolate snack, but it's nice.
All right, so we're gonna, before we finish off with the candy, we'll go to one more. You know, just I think more than anything, just for comedy purposes. But this is literally just a packet of lemon salt. So this guy right here. And you know what? Thinking about it now, I don't know why, but these things were everywhere, and we loved them growing up. And I don't know why, but.
Nope, I took the top.
It is extremely sour. Like it's literally just lemon and salt
Thank you.
in a pouch. The terrible aftertaste. Oh, I think there's a little indentation here, no? Oh, did you?
I didn't take it all.
Okay.
Whoa, that's weird.
I know, right?
So this is how I feel licking a ramen spice packet would be like. This is not candy. This is spice. This is just a seasoning.
Literally just salt and lemon. Literally. But it's one of those things like when you start eating it, you just can't stop. Just can't stop, you know?
It's very strong, but there's something there. All right, we're diving in with 2 snacks.
All right.
And some Mexican Coke.
Yeah. You know, Mexican Coke is, it's one of those things, like, nobody really knows why it's different. I mean, I know it's got the cane sugar in it, man. And Coke is like one of those things, too, where anywhere in the world that you go, it's going to be just a little different. But the Mexican Coke is just almost like just a little bit more addictive.
I've heard really good things about this.
Yeah, so it's actually, and I don't know, I mean, you can fact check me if you want, but Coke is actually almost like an epidemic in Mexico, man. Like so many people drink so much Coke instead of like drinking like just normal water. It's interesting. Like yeah, like you go down to Mexico and like I have family members that's mostly what they drink.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's very tasty. So I could understand that. You know, I always thought it was because, you know, just Coke was a lot more sweeter, but from we just learned, it's got something to do with the drinking water. Imagine that, right? Just the drinking water not that good, so you'd rather drink Coke.
To be fair, I don't even trust our city water here, so
So we could definitely relate. You want to jump right into the Coke?
yeah, let's pop it.
All right.
Thank you.
there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got that Coke taste, but there is something else there.
So I know it's the cane sugar that's got to be a big difference, but I also heard like in the States we use different preservatives and different ways to keep things fresh. It just don't exist in Mexico.
It feels a lot different on the back end.
Yeah.
American Coke, you got a weird aftertaste. This doesn't have it.
It's a lot smoother. We're gonna start with
Yes.
okay? So these are Totis Donitas. It's a brand, it's La Costeña brand, so anytime you see that brand right there, that's a very popular brand in Mexican cuisine. They have things like spices we talked about, but like if you want to buy some jalapenos, they've got some really good jalapenos. They just got different sauces and stuff like that, so it's a really good brand. And we're gonna try these Totis here, so I'm gonna let you try a couple and then tell me what you think. And it's interesting how they're made. So we've actually make some of these at home.
Oh, man.
Maybe not this exact style, right?
That is really good.
Yeah. So we make these at home. So my kids enjoy it. My wife loves it. It's literally just dough.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very light.
Yeah. So it's a very light, very airy dough. They actually sell these, and if you go to a Mexican grocery store, they'll sell these pre-fried in big pouches. You can buy them by the pound. Like if you go up to, a big city somewhere where they have a big Hispanic market, you can buy these pre-fried by the pound, and you literally just throw them in oil, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll get nice and crispy and fluffy like this. And then you just add whatever spice you want. In this case, it's just chili powder. Oh no, it's got some lemon flavor too, but it's mostly just chili powder. And then in my household, we like to add Valentina hot sauce. So you know what I'm talking about, my friend?
I know hot sauce, but the way you said that sounds like this is scarier hot sauce.
It's kind of like the pinnacle of hot sauce, right? And for all of you Tapatio lovers and all those other guys, right? The Louisiana hot sauce guys, I'm sorry, there's no offense to any of you, but Valentina is like the staple, right? It's like the standard of hot sauce, and it comes in like a half-a-gallon jug. So it's like this big. It's a huge round bottle. It lasts you a while. It's a good 30-day supply minimum. But
30 days.
Yes. And when we're from Mexico, so we enjoy hot sauce. So we put it on just about everything. My kids love it. My wife loves it. But yeah, so that's our go-to. So we buy these little Donitas pre-fried. They actually come in different shapes. So you can buy them in squares. You actually can buy them in pretty big squares. If you go to a Mexican food market, they have this thing called chilindrinas, which is my wife's favorite. So it's literally this same type of dough. It's in a huge, it's like a plank of dough, but they top it with, dude, I've seen pig feet. Pig skin is my wife's go-to. They put like shards of pig skin or like a chicharrón. It's all pickled pig feet.
Oh, yeah.
So they put this on this like doughy substance, and then they put, lettuce, sour cream, hot sauce, onion. You just hook this thing up. It's called the chilindrina, and definitely recommended. Just a good relation to where this would be in an American culture. Something like this would be like our popcorn, right? So like we would call them chicharrines. Where we would just fry them up into a quick pot, and we would all sit around and watch a movie with the big old half-a-gallon jug of salsa Valentina.
It's very snackable.
It is. Back in 30 years ago, in my household would have been a celebration, to what God has given me now, to what the Lord has provided for me now, is really amazing. It's really amazing. It truly goes to the testament of what we've been through. And where we are now, thanks to Him. So, but this is great. Speaking of God and where He has taken us, I'm gonna go ahead and pivot to our next snack.
All right.
So these are plantain chips.
Ooh.
So, spoiler alert: these are not Mexican, right? They are not Mexican. Yeah. So, actually, I never really tried them to this level. I do want to say until We had the pleasure of going to Peru on a missions trip last year. So I've heard of plantains. I've got friends, really good friends from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras. They love their plantains. And you think of plantains, you think of a banana, right?
Yeah.
Not the case.
It's like a more bitter banana.
Yeah. It's like, it's bigger and it's green. So it's not yellow. It's not supposed to be yellow. And it is more, it doesn't have that sweetness to it. But I had the pleasure of trying these when I went to Peru. And so anytime that I thought of a plantain, I thought of that bitterness taste, right? So I'm not a big fan. Again, it's not a Mexico thing. But when I went to Peru, they had this, so something similar like I've got now. This one here is salsa verde, or green sauce, green hot sauce, which is amazing. You'll love it here. I'll let you try that while I tell my story. But when I went to Peru, they had these in basically a lemon and salt flavored, and they were just amazing. They were just amazing. I am a big chip guy.
Yeah, that's really nice.
You told me I was eating a banana right now. I'd say no way. No way.
Say your own name.
They're amazing.
They're very crisp. That's nice.
And actually, so since coming back from Peru, I was really excited when I saw this bag because this is my go-to. The salsa verde flavored plantains is my go-to right now. So if I want myself a good, and I'm assuming it's healthy, maybe. Still
Probably healthier.
It is probably healthier, yeah. But I still do enjoy it. I still do enjoy it. So, but yeah, again, it's a pleasure to be able to sit and enjoy these snacks and to kind of reminisce on what God has done in my life and where I am now. It is truly amazing. Growing up in a very poor, almost like behind the eight ball, if you will, in the situation that we were in, and then going through my adolescent ages, literally pretty much trying to self-destruct myself for like 20 years. I feel like sometimes, especially towards my late teens, early 20s, then the Lord blessed me with my wife and 4 beautiful children that I have now and that I'm so thankful for. But it wasn't until about my age 35 that I found the Lord and found Jesus Christ and brought Him into my life. And ever since then, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. To put that into perspective, we're doing this video right now. This morning I was on the news.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got the opportunity to promote a community event that we're doing here in the area. It's going to be a great event, but only God does things like that.
Oh yeah.
To say that I've come from poverty, come from a situation where my dad had to work 3 jobs, mom was a stay-at-home mom for most of my life and is disabled to this day. My mom doesn't know English or anything like that. To say that now, I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm able to provide for my kids, it's all glory to Him, and it's all thanks to what God has done and what Jesus has done in my heart. I invite all of you, if you don't know Jesus and you don't have Jesus in your heart, please get a hold of us.
Yeah.
And we'd love to tell you more about Him.
So those are the snacks. The link is in the description if you'd like to try these. And to hear His message, then you can go ahead and click on the link. That'll be here or here or here. It could be over there. I don't know. You'll find it. All right. Thank you for sharing with us and for telling us about your life and your food.
Thank you.
And leave a comment of your own message if you'd like to share that with the rest of us.
Yes.
We'd love to hear it. All right. Bye.